Hey everyone, Chris here. I wanted to go over real quick passing the pacing power. So, this is a question gotten a bunch of times, and also an opportunity more than once I've been gifted with on transferring care from a patient I was pacing with my crew to either a receiving facility or another crew who was going to be continuing the care of that patient. And for whatever reason, this is one that gets people spooled up, and it shouldn't. You're literally transferring care from one device to the other. And if you go through four easy steps, which we'll talk about, you won't lose that capture, ripping off the pads and having the patient rip or rest in peace forever. So, whether you're transferring care to a receiving facility or another agency that's going to be continuing that care of the patient on to wherever their destination is, the key here is to slow down. Kind of counterproductive for some of your pacing because you pace them up because their heart rate was slowed down. But the key is communication. There's really no therapeutic cool device or toy that's going to fix this aside from just talking. So, an example, let's get them over on our monitor stat. And of course, by federal law, I feel like people have to say stat when they're in the hospital. So that's the example we use here. And nobody actually uses that word anymore. Some strategies to be successful are let me finish giving report, and then we'll transition in steps. So kind of own the environment, own the stress level, and then bring it down a little bit. You've been managing this patient. You're the one that's paced them up. You fix the heart rate, the cardiac output. Be their advocate. Don't let ripping off of the leads lead to rip or rest in peace forever for the patient. Don't lose capture. So these are demand pacers. So really the steps and strategies to be successful at this is we're just using the capabilities of the device to our benefit. They're demand pacers, so as needed. So if the heart rate goes up above what you've set it to, the pacer kicks off and is constantly monitoring in the background. So it's also a great point to just take a pause and check your ABCs. Do they have an airway? Are they breathing? Do they have a pulse? And if the answer is yes, you're okay. So demand success. You're using a demand pacer. You want to be successful at this. We're using the demand feature of the pacer to be successful. Pads. So you have your pads on, whether they're anterior lateral, whether they're anterior posterior, whatever you used to gain your capture, the new device or the second monitor or the receiving group's monitor is going to have their pads too. And they can be anywhere adjacent to your pads, they just can't touch. So when transferring, the pads cannot touch. Otherwise, they'll arc. Great opportunity to try anterior posterior if you didn't do it. And a lot of cath labs like this because for fluoroscopy of the C arm, they can actually get a lateral view. So if you went anterior lateral, the receiving providers can do anterior posterior if they want. So anterior posterior. You could either do right of the mediastinum or left of the mediastinum for the anterior pad. Bottom line is they need a set of their pads. Have them put them wherever they want as long as it's not in contact with the pads you are currently using to deliver electricity. So settings, they need to know what your settings are, what's your beats per minute or pulses per minute, or what's your heart rate you set your pacer to, and what your milliamps are. So here's the four quick steps to be successful. So if these are the four steps for the receiving or the transferring group. Place their pads. So put their pads, they just can't touch the ones that are currently delivering energy. Power on their device. Once they turn on the pacer mode, pick the heart rate that is above what the patient is currently being paced at. So if they're being paced at 60, they should set theirs to 70 or 80. And then they increase the milliamps until their device captures the patient. By nature, once theirs captures the patient at a higher heart rate, your device will kick off. So place the pads, power on the device. Once they hit their pacer mode, they pick the heart rate above what the patient's currently being paced at, and then increase their milliamps until they gain capture. So let's do one. So you have your bradycardic hypoperfusing patient. You bring up your pacing dashboard, go up in your milliamps until you get a QRS after every pacer spike. which we do. Pulse ox plus matches, so we have electromechanical capture. Go up a little bit to increase your threshold bump. So now it's time to transfer care. So again, let's go back to that communication. Slow the roll. It's time here for a pause. Do we have an airway? Are we breathing? Do we have a pulse? Then we have a second. No rush. The receiving group puts their pads on. They power on their monitor. So now they're receiving the signal from your pacer. They've got their capno for perfusion. They pick pacer mode. They go beats above yours. You were at 60, they go to 70. They go up in their milliamps. You had 60 milliamps, they're now at 70. They've now gained capture. You notice yours has kicked off. It's still sensing the underlying pacer spike from an external unit, but yours is kicked off. So now they've taken over. So what do you do? Well, with your device now, you can go under your pacer. I like to take my energy down to zero. You could also have hit stop and then remove your stuff. Always leave the pads on in case they need them again for a different angle or dual sequential. Just leave the pads on, just unplug them from the therapy cable. But that's as easy as it is to transfer a paced patient by using the demand feature of the device. As always, if you have any questions, hit us up. And we always appreciate putting comments below or ideas below for future videos that you may have. We hope you have a great day.